I'm so sorry. We got to tell these people who are listening what happened. This is a fiasco, an hour and a half in the making on my part. I apologize, sir.
It was totally fine.
But we're here now. We're doing it.
We are.
Oh, finally. Anyways, man. So you're originally from Japan, yeah?
That is correct.
What parts?
Tokyo.
Tokyo. All
Yeah.
right. And what were you doing uh as a kid over there just in your free time?
Just growing up, just a bunch of stuff, just hanging out with friends, listening to records, things like that. Yeah.
The normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, very
Mhm.
normal childhood, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What got you in to uh to music? What got you interested in it?
Well, my dad had he was not very much into like music or anything, but he had a couple cassette tapes laying around the house. I just, I listened to them, and some of them stuck with me. Some I was like, what is this? But some I really liked, and I just obsessed over them for years and years.
What were some of the names?
My dad had this the Best of the Beach Boys tape, and I was deeply moved by that tape. I still have that tape, and I listen to it every now and again just to remember, how exciting that was.
Yeah, definitely. Beach Boys are great.
They are fantastic. I mean, biggest influence.
They're the best of the Beach Boys. The Beach
Yeah.
Boys. No, I mean like the actual boys who go to the beach. They're the best of them. No, but that's good. Were you attending a lot of concerts when you were a kid over there?
Not really, not really. That's going to concerts was like not um a family thing. But once I got, a little bit older, like in high school, I saw some shows. That was cool.
What was the first concert you went to?
First concert I went to was my dad took me to this like a Japanese pop singer kind of thing. It was kind of like, like crooner kind of thing. It was okay, but one concert I remember going was I saw the Beach Boys in early 90s. That was kind of cheesy, but it's still cool. And then I saw Paul McCartney, I remember. That was that was pretty cool. I thought
Yeah,
that was pretty wild. Yeah.
definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah, those are a couple good ones to go to
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for sure.
Um yeah.
What outside of music were you getting into as a kid? Were you like a rambunctious kid, getting into a lot of trouble?
No, no, I was a pretty chill, like more indoor kind of like playing with the model train kind of very just I don't know. I enjoyed being by myself, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
What instrument did you pick up in the beginning? What was your gateway into this?
The first instrument I got was uh probably a guitar. I played guitar. My dad had a toy guitar and I played it, and then when I was, I don't know, 14, I bought a real guitar, and that was pretty exciting.
I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Open
Yeah.
up open up new doors.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
So when you started to develop your own taste in music, where
Hmm.
did that lead you? Where what kind of paths are you going down in that sense?
Like listening wise, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I listened to the Beach Boys, and my friends turned me on to the Beatles, and somehow I was always drawn to like older music. Something just like resonated with me, like music in the 90s, especially growing up in Tokyo, like music and pop music in the 90s was like very like hyper and like loud and just like shiny, and it was just not really my cup of tea. So I was drawn towards older music, and so I listened to the Beatles, I listened to the Rolling Stones, and listening to Rolling Stones led me to like discovering a lot of older American music, like soul music and blues music and things like that. So I got really deeply into that stuff. So like I listened to a lot of that, like uh soul music from American South in the 60s, 70s, 50s, things like that.
Yeah, definitely very influential for many people, and
Absolutely.
for a good reason.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
would say so. Yeah.
How much of influence do you take from those soul artists and blues artists from the era? Would you say that you are um heavily influenced by them still?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe not so much musically, my music is not particularly soulful, like bluesy or anything like that. But what really inspired me the most was the sound of the records. Just kind of like dusty and like foggy, kind of, and just like kind of like mysterious sounding to me. Because so that really made a big impression on me. I just wanted the record to have a sound and kind of like a almost like a uh I don't know, like a movie in a way. Like it just kind of takes you into like weird places in your head when you're listening. And that was a huge influence, and I still trying to recreate that feeling in a way.
Yeah, definitely. So there, I mean,
Yeah.
there was influence in the sound, the way that it was recorded. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe not so much singing style or like a playing style kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, what was the first forte into playing in a band for you? What was your first band?
We had this band. We just kind of like fucked around. We did like some like like Rolling Stone songs, and it was just for fun. We were pretty terrible, but we did like some Stone songs or like Beatles songs or something like that. I don't think we even had a name, but we just kind of played.
And that was in Tokyo.
Yeah. When I was 16, 17, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were terrible. It was pretty horrible, but it was a lot of fun. But it was a terrible band. Yes.
And then what was the next musical project after that?
I so that, and after high school I moved to the States, and so then I kind of didn't particularly play music all that much. Although I had a guitar and I kind of messed around a little bit, but I didn't write my music or anything. I just At that point I was more into like listening to records. So I had this dream of starting my own like reissue label. That was my dream when I was in college. So like I was doing more listening than anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I collected a lot of records around that time, and I still do. Um, and yeah, then I moved. I lived in West Virginia for the first 2 years of my life in the States, and that was really cool. Like growing up in Tokyo, living in the countryside for was pretty liberating in a way.
Well, yeah. What drew you over to the States? Was it school?
Yeah. I just basically kind of wanted to get out of there. I think that's way, and I was lucky enough my parents could afford me to do that, so I was like, fuck it, I'm out of here. So I just left. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you did it solo. You didn't come out with anybody else. It was just you.
Just by myself. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. That's the time to do it for sure.
It
Just
was. Yeah.
going out on a
It,
journey.
yeah. If I waited to 25, I don't think I had the balls to do it. I think I was young and dumb, so I could do it.
Were you 18?
I was 18. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. And what kind of stuff were you getting into over there? What was your major in college? Would you go to
Um,
school
it
for?
was just like general studies or whatever when I lived in West Virginia, and then the school I went to had this like a big like a folklore research center, music Appalachian culture research center type of thing. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I was interested in like those like old time music. So I went there and I befriended a bunch of people from that organization, and then I got into listening to a lot of old time fiddle music and banjo music and things like that. And
Yeah.
that was really cool. Yeah,
I mean, that's a major shift, right?
it was very much so. Yeah, it was very different, and I just loved it because I was young, and um, you know, being away from my parents was just it's that alone was cool. Then I was living in the mountains, and yeah, and that was really really fun.
What kind of stuff were you doing outside of school over there? What was it?
Oh,
What did you get into for fun?
so I was friends with those Appalachian Music Research Center guys. So we used to go field record those old fiddlers and banjo players. So me and my friend Jimmy, like let's say we went to grocery shopping, right? Like if we see like old people, we would go up to them and kind of talk to them, see if they know a fiddle player or banjo player. And a lot of times, they say things like, "Oh, I play fiddle," or like, "Oh, my uncle plays fiddle," or something like that. Then we will actually bring a tape recorder. We used to, this is before digital recorder. We used to bring tape recorders to their house and record them play those old time fiddle they learned from their great grandparents and things like that. It was like a field recording, like Alan Lomax type of style.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was
Oh man, yeah.
absolutely incredible. I'm so glad I got to do that. That was fucking cool.
Yeah,
Like
I mean
really cool. Yeah.
that really sounds like it. So what year is this, or what year are you doing this?
This is like 98, like 97, 98.
98. So you're dealing with people who are in their what, 70s, 80s? That
Oh
kind
yeah,
of,
they were old. Yeah.
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 Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Some of them living in a house with no power kind of situation.
Yeah, West Virginia for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
up
wild.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, going back in time.
Man, that is fascinating. I
That
mean,
was extremely cool.
and those are people who have seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They all have, we record like stories and stuff too. So often they have stories like UFO stories, ghost stories. Those are pretty wild.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean
Hmm.
these people were born turn of the century, if not late 1800s.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I always love talking to older generations about what their life is like. I mean, I'll talk to my grandma, and she's like, "Yeah, I've seen Civil War veterans. Civil War
Wow.
veterans. It's like that's insane.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that's literally insane. Like she said that there would be in being parades. I mean, not too many of them because I was 1860
Absolutely. Absolutely.
1863.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
1865 rather, maybe 1865 is when it is. Yeah, crazy stuff like that. And yeah, that's always eye opening. What is there any story that kind of sticks out to you that you've heard from these people?
Uh oh yeah, yeah, them like just a lot of the people I met and talked to was they used to be like coal miner or so they have like hogs they have hogs in the backyard they kill them every year or something like that. It's just like a crazy story and just
Yeah,
like it's so wild and yeah, because you drive in like a dirt road for 2 hours to get to their house kind of situation. So it's not like I don't particularly remember specific stories, and at that time, like my English wasn't all that great either. So like I don't know how much like a full story I actually was able to receive, but I got the vibe and befriended some of the really cool old fiddlers, and
yeah, you
yeah,
got you got the gist of what they're saying. Oh man,
yeah,
wow, what
yeah,
a what a trip, what a change of pace that is.
yeah. It was, yeah, yeah. I still think about those days. Those that was like kind of like a um weird, like a euphoric days almost.
Definitely, yeah. Oh
Hmm.
man. So that was 2 years out there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then did you make the move to Los Angeles after that?
And I moved to Nashville. I went to Nashville because I had a dream of like having my own reissue label, so I wanted to study about like music business or whatever. And I studied it, and then I was not a very good student, so I didn't really learn much, but I tried, and then like this is like right at the dawn of digital music, so like what I was learning in school, I kind of knew, okay, wow, this is probably going to be obsolete in a minute.
Oh, you had
Because
that feeling already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Because like I remember talking like in class, like now there's this thing called Napster, but we don't have to worry about it or whatever. I was like, we probably should worry about this. Yeah, because like if you can get music for free, like why not? Like I knew. I mean, like it didn't take that much imagination to think, well, people probably just gonna take it if
Yeah,
it's free. Yeah,
definitely.
but yeah, but like that's just how things were. So I learned those things, but it became somewhat obsolete and um but I learned some things, like about like copyrights and things like that. That
Yeah.
that that didn't hurt. Yeah.
So you're out there in Nashville, and you're kind of studying up on this, and are you still trying to get local musicians to do this research still, or was that just in
No,
Virginia,
that was just
West
West
Virginia?
Virginia. That's West Virginia, yeah.
So
So yeah,
please go
in
ahead.
Nashville, yeah, oh, I'm sorry. In
No,
Nashville
no,
I
no, you're
just
fine. You're totally fine.
oh, good, good. Yeah, in Nashville I just studied and like just worked at the record stores, collected more records, did all sorts of things, and then yeah, then I graduated and I moved to LA.
So what university did you graduate from?
Belmont University.
Belmont. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I did that.
So when you came out here to the
Uh-huh.
States, did you bring any records with you?
No,
No.
no. Over time, I brought some good ones from home to here, but when I moved, no, no.
Yeah. And did you have a car at this time in West Virginia or in Nashville?
Oh yeah, oh a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like immediately, did you just immediately get a license and a car, and you're like, all right, I need
Pretty
this.
pretty pretty fast, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Did
I had a couple of the other record collecting friends too. So like we hit up like flea markets and yard sales and yeah, that was just a lot of fun.
now did you drive in Tokyo as well?
No, I did not. I did
Never.
not. No.
So you started your driving experience here.
In West Virginia, yes.
Yeah.
I remember like, if you could so y- like the driving test was like you bring your own car obviously. And then the testing person sits on a passenger seat. We drive around town a couple blocks and I do parallel parking and that was it.
Yeah.
That was yeah.
Over the course of about maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Probably a lot less. It just
Oh,
really
even
we
less.
we we drove around the armory. That was it. So probably like 5 minutes really.
First try, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, like, how can you fuck that up?
Yeah, I remember when I got my license, and the guy was just such a dick.
Oh,
And
I've heard stories like that.
yeah, he was just such a dick. And then he was like, all right, make the next turn. And I just blew right past it. And he's like, he's like, pull over. He's like, is that not a turn? I was like, well, you said the next turn. I didn't really see that as a turn. He's like, all right, go back. And then I was like, all right. So I went back, and he's like, oh, what high school do you go to? And I told him. He's like, oh,
Mhm,
my old coach teaches there. Do you know him? I was like, yeah, I
uh-huh,
do know him. And he's like,
mhm.
all right. And he's like, how do you think you did? I was like, I don't know. You tell me. And he's like, well, you passed. I was like, all right, great. I know for a fact it's just because we had the
You knew that
same,
guy,
yeah,
right?
just because I knew him.
I
Quote.
believe that. I
Yeah,
I totally believe that.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
absolutely believe that. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. He loosened up after that, but that was, I mean, we were already back at the DMV, so there's no going back.
Right. Yeah, I can't even imagine getting a license in LA. That must be pretty nerve-wracking, just a lot of cars and
People, everything.
freeways. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
That must
yeah.
be pretty scary.
The congestion alone is just
Yeah.
intense. Yeah,
Can't even imagine. Yeah.
that would
I
be so
remember
awful.
I got my license in West Virginia and I moved to Nashville. I bought this old car. I had this like 1974 Ford Thunderbird. It was sick. I wanted to drive old American cars. Like, why not, right?
Yeah.
So I did that, and I remember driving that from West Virginia to Tennessee, and I was like, wow, this car may not make it, but it did. and I was driving around Nashville, and I have to change lanes, like we do. But when I lived in West Virginia, I had never had to do that because there was no two-lane free highway. So like I was like, how the fuck am I gonna do this? I didn't know how to do it. So it was pretty scary. And I shouldn't have been driving, but I was.
You figured it out. You're here
I
now,
figured
right?
I figured it out, yeah. Eventually.
What was the next car after that? What was your next
Um
vehicle?
oh, I bought a reliable car. It was very important the car to be reliable, yeah.
How
I
uh,
learned.
how long did the Thunderbird last after you made it to Nashville?
Oh, like 3 years.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot longer
Yeah.
lifespan than I was
Yes,
thinking.
yes, yeah. Yeah, it was a great car, but had terrible gas mileage and had a problem with the brake. Then I had to let that go. Car needs to stop.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of crucial.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Not so much West Virginia though, it seems like, but
No,
Nashville.
no, it was fine in Nashville. Yes, it was.
So after Nashville, is
Hmm.
that's when you moved to LA? You're like,
That
I'm
is
gonna go
correct.
out there.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
the initial intention?
So I had an internship at the Rhino Records, the record label, because I wanted to start my own reissue label. So I was like, that's it. So I moved here and did the internship, and then um yeah, it was super fun and I loved it, and I almost got like they was just kind of trying to get me a like a gig for what do you call it, entry level gig there, and I was like, great, I want to do that. But then as I was kind of gearing into that, the Rhino Records were bought up by uh I think it was Warner Brothers or Time Warner or one of those, and then like everything just went. It was like over for me. So I was like, ah, all right, that was that.
So what were you doing on a day-to-day basis? Were they just having you do random stuff?
Oh yeah, just any like internship entry level kind of shit. Like send out like CDs to radio stations or like call the radio stations or like I don't know, like just pack like promotional materials and things like that. It's just a very tail end of a CD uh um big business CD label thing. Because
Yeah,
I think that died out like pretty quickly after that.
yeah.
I
Oh
think, yeah.
man, yeah. So where'd you move to? Whereabouts in LA? Right when you moved there.
Oh. So when I moved here, I didn't know anyone. So I went to someone told me about this thing called Craigslist. I had no idea about. So I went to Craigslist and I looked for kind of like where I thought was nearby the work, and I had no idea how big LA was because I always knew it's big, but I don't know how big. So first I thought it was like, okay, maybe I try to find a place in Pasadena because I've heard of Pasadena. Then I learned Pasadena to Santa Monica is quite a trip, so like, I don't want to do that. Then I found a place in Brentwood, like subleasing like a apartment. And yeah, and I lived there for a little bit. That wasn't really my scene, but it was kind of boring. But it was close to work.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
commute.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I quickly learned a commute is a big thing in Los Angeles.
Traffic alone, you gotta adjust
Yeah,
for that
yeah.
time
I had
wise.
never seen anything like that. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so wild.
How much was the rent, if you can recall it?
Oh, it was cheap. I had a room for like probably like 650 or something like that. Maybe it was 550. I can't remember, but something 50.
So maybe it was just 50. Yeah, we'll just go with
Yeah,
50.
let's go 50. Yeah.
It was just $50.
Yeah.
Kind of steep.
Yeah, a little bit for fresh out of college.
How long were you working at Rhino for? What
Oh,
was the
just
timeline of
like
that?
uh, just I don't know, 6 months, something like that. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit
Wow.
more. I can't remember. Yeah.
So where'd you go from there? What was the next move?
Oh, then like like I had to find a job. So I what did I do? I worked at like a retail store just to make ends meet for a little while, and then I started working for localization company. So which means this company took Japanese movies and animations like video games and things like that, and they kind of like customize it for American or English speaking market, I guess. So I made like subtitles for movies, animations, um, uh, did like made scripts for voiceover sessions and things like that.
Oh man, so you're just sitting there like listening to it and writing it down for
Yeah,
the
pretty much,
subtitles. Whew.
pretty much, yeah, yeah. That kind of sucked, but I got the that allowed me to stay in the States and live here because
Yeah.
I got the visa through them.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was
So
what
that
was
was
yeah? What was
Go
the
ahead.
retail job that you had
A retail
started there?
job was like I used to sell uniforms to nurses.
It's a good business to be in.
Yeah, yeah. It was terrible though.
They need those scrubs. Everybody
They do.
does.
They do exactly. Yeah, scrubs. Yeah, that's what they called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I sold a bunch of those. I still know some little things about the scrub brands and like qualities and things of that sort.
Oh yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
useful knowledge. Everybody
Yeah,
needs that
yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if I need one, I know where to
Yeah.
get it.
Did you ever learn the different colors, like what the different colors meant as well?
I didn't. I didn't.
That
Do they
was a
mean
part
different
of it.
things?
Yeah, I that's what I've heard. Like blue, you always see like pale blue.
Uh-huh.
That's the traditional one. Then you see like the red one sometimes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or
Green ones and
mhm.
yeah. I
You'd know
always
more than
thought
I would.
I always thought that was just their like personal choice. I
That's
guess I had
that's
no
also
idea. I just didn't really care, I guess.
I like how you're like, I can tell you the fabric, I can tell you what the best price is, what you need to get
Yeah.
embroidered on there. I cannot tell you what it's used for, but
Yeah.
I have what you
Yeah.
need.
It's up to you. That's that.
I have what you need. I just don't know why you need it.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So you're working at the place to transcribe Japanese into English, and then what
Yeah.
was what was the next job after that?
Oh, so I did that for like 7 years,
Oh
seven, eight
boy.
years. Cause see, like I had my visa through them. So like I really didn't have much of an option to go other places. I mean, I could have, but that was a pretty big move to reapply for visa and do all that.
Working off a
So
work visa, right? That's
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
that's what they were. Okay.
It was, yeah. And then so around that time it was like pretty much fresh out after 9/11. So like those visa situations were a little bit tricky. Not tricky, it was just like they're a little more uptight.
Yeah, strenuous
Yeah.
process. Yeah.
Yeah, it was yeah. So like I would just, fuck it, I just gonna work here and just whatever. And around the time I started so the to answer your question, after that I kind of became freelance, like doing music stuff. Anything comes my way just to live kind of lifestyle after that.
It's a good way to
And
live.
what's that?
It's a good way to live.
It it, it
Yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And then yeah, so that's around the time I started making kind of making music seriously. It was like a couple years after I started working. So I was like 24, 25, I think.
Mhm.
I started writing my own songs and producing recordings and because yeah, that's when I got like interested in like making my own music.
Yeah. So I mean, music was always in the back of your mind for those even those 7 years that you weren't in quote unquote the industry.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Because
you
I
were still working on it and stuff.
absolutely, yeah, I listened to a lot of records and started writing my own music, learning to produce kind of things. Yeah,
you got the connections for the fiddle players and whatnot. I mean, why not,
Oh,
right?
those are no, yeah, I should have stayed in touch, but I didn't. Yeah.
So how did My Hawaii come about? What was that? Where did that
So,
originate from?
um, so, um, so, like making my own music basically started out, because I never really interested in performing live shows all that much. I was really deeply interested in uh, recording and producing recordings. That was I was really interested in that. So I was kind of teaching myself doing that. So that's how I got into it, and so I made my own first album. It just was more like a kind of like a singer songwritery, like acoustic guitars and singing kind of record. And then more a couple of albums in, I started to the production get a little more denser and just gets more uh, streamlined and got a little more serious or whatever. And then I made my first My Hawaii EP, I should say, and then that got picked up by this label, small label, and then I was like, okay, maybe it's time for me to start performing those songs. And that's when I the My Hawaii became a band. My Hawaii was just my musical project because I did most of the recording by myself, and then out of necessity to play live, I kind of formed like a live band around it. Sort of. Those are like, oops, sorry. Oh, those are my
You're
old,
fine.
all my friends. So like, we played together before, but that's when the My Hawaii as a band kind of came about.
Mhm. Now, did you self produced
Yeah,
and this the first EP?
yeah.
And then were you sending it out Rhino Record style? Just
No,
sending it?
so at that point I was just like really focusing on like making recordings. So like I didn't put too much thoughts into like putting it out, which in retrospective I probably should spend a little more time and energy into that. But I was just kind of focusing on making it, and around the time I started to doing some like what they call tech work. Like, I go on tour with the bands and take care of their equipment and things like that. And and around the time I was working for this band called Edward Sharp and Magnetic Zeros. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
No, I'm not. What kind of music is it?
It's like kind of like a like almost a kind of like a free folk, like hippie folk rock kind of music. And I was working for them, and then I played some of the music I was working on for those guys, and they were like, "Oh, this is great. Let's put it out." So they put it out on their label. That's how My Hawaii EP started, I would say.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way in, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was great. They were super cool about it. And I'm very very grateful for that. They did that. It was great for it was great for my confidence or whatever.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
say so.
yeah.
So how did you know where to get these pressed and whatnot? Where did you just kind of ask around, or you just kind of figured it out? Like, okay, like this is where I get these pressed and get this made a a, a real tangible thing.
Oh, the EP.
Yeah.
Oh, so those the Edward Sharp guys had a label, so they did that for me.
Oh, okay. So
So
you went
yeah,
you went through them to even okay make it. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha,
yeah, yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, yeah. So I
Oh,
just delivered the master, and they pressed a little 7-inch EP, 4-song EP. Yeah,
that's awesome. Where did
that
the
was great.
name? Yeah, where did the name come from?
My Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, the My Hawaii name is from a song. There's a song called My Hawaii by this band called the Rascals, and then I always thought the band name coming from a song title like of uh uh
Rolling
your
Stones.
he yeah, Rolling Stones,
Yeah,
exactly. Or Lovin' Spoonful,
sure.
um Sugar Babe. Those names sounded like cool to me. I was like, I wanted to have a band name coming from a song title.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's why I named it My Hawaii. And looking back, it might have been a bad idea because people thought it was I was making Hawaiian music. Yeah. It was yeah, it was, but it was interesting because even after people saw our show, people come up to me and said like, "Man, I really love your Hawaiian music." And it was like pretty far from Hawaiian music, but like I was like, "Wow, so that's how deceiving is that? Like just having a name my Hawaii automatically makes people think it's Hawaiian music."
Yeah.
So that was a pretty interesting thing to learn, like so like those little things matter if you want to get people's attention, or if you use a bad word, manipulate people. It's how easy and how hard.
Yeah, but it drew attention. It's like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
come
yeah, yeah,
come
yeah,
go check this out.
yeah. It worked. Yeah,
Throw them for a spin. That's what I say. Yeah, that's good. I like it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Quite the spin for some people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're for a nicer price. So how was how did the first show go that you
Oh,
did?
it went great. I thought it was really great because so like the songs from the EP was it's a pretty intricate arrangement. It was not really band arrangement per se. So getting that work in small combo was a little bit of a challenge because like a lot of songs from the EP was kind of like uh evolved around marimbas because a lot of songs just marimba is the main instrument kind of things surrounding it kind of. And I have a marimba, but and we used to take it out to shows, but doing shows in small clubs with marimba is itself was a little bit challenging.
Sound wise, yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Volume
yeah,
wise, yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Mm.
But we figured it out, and we did shows like that quite a bit back in like 2015, 14, something like that, with marimbas and harmoniums and a lot of instruments.
A lot of stuff that's just easier to play and record in one place than
Yeah.
taking it other. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a challenge. It was a challenge, but like, luckily, like the older guys in my Hawaii was super talented, like great musicians. So we could figure that out pretty fast, and uh, we started sound really good pretty quick.
And how did you meet these guys? How did you get into the scene over in California?
So I started doing kind of like a singer-songwriter type of venues, places. Like I played like Hotel Cafe and things like that. And like this is mid 2000s, I would say 2004, 5, 6 ish. And I used to play with bunch of guys. Some of the guys are still playing. Like I don't know if you know the Milk Carton Kids. Like a
It kind of rings a bell. The
Yeah,
name,
they're kind of
yeah.
like a folk kind of guys, and we used to play together a lot. And so, like doing those shows, I met a lot of musicians, and I joined some bands. I played guitar in some bands. So just over the course of time, I had like a lot of super talented musician friends, and just forming different bands here, different guys,
Yeah,
things like that. Yeah,
definitely. It's stuff unravels from this person knows this person. Da, 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 da. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
Now, how did you get into scoring films? When did that come about?
So was always very much interested in film scores because I like this. Um, I like the fact that film scores are not uh uh attached to like a verse, chorus, or like hook kind of. It was more of a sound that I just like the sound. So
Yeah.
like film score was like kind of great for that.
Mm.
And then luckily I had a opportunity to work on like some film score sessions at the big studios. I got to see how pros do the film scores, and I got to see that and learn how they did it, and that was great. I learned a lot, and then it was very inspiring. And then so I started doing like little film score type of things, my friends' film projects. video projects and things of that sort. And then over time, I did some, and I did a feature film, and that was super fun. And then you know, if there's opportunity, I still do things like that a lot.
Wow. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. So you're kind of looking at it as like a grander scheme, not just like this one song. It's like it's all encompassing. It's a bigger picture aspect.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mhm.
I just like the recording itself as a whole.
Mhm.
I'm very much interested in anything that involves making recordings.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I understand where you're coming from for sure. Now, how big of a role does that fill within you looking at films? Like, how much of a limelight does that make or break the film for you?
Oh, not much. To me, like music is still more like a supplemental, or like just kind of like a mood enhancer. I see that as more like a mood enhancer.
Hmm. Hmm.
So some I read someone said, like, if you hear music distinguishedly in the movie, it's not very good or something like that. You shouldn't notice the music if it's a good film or
That's
something like that.
true. Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of take that to heart, just trying to kind of remember that.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
And I don't know if
that's
it's
really
true or not,
interesting.
but
No,
yeah.
I mean, but there's a point to that, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was Ryuichi Sakamoto. I think that's who said that, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, do you have some favorite scores personally for yourself
Oh
that
yeah.
really stand out to you? What are a couple of those?
Um, um, Paris, Texas. Wim Wenders movie, Paris, Texas, with Ry Cooder doing the score. I love it, and I think it almost kind of like melts in the movie. I think it's super great, and
But you noticed it, so what does that say about the picture? Harry Dean Stanton is fantastic. I'll
oh
tell you that.
man, dude, oh man, he's so good in that movie.
Oh yeah, I mean he's just fantastic, and I talked about him before. He's fantastic.
Yeah, have you listened to his records? He has records too.
I know that he makes music, and I heard this snippet, and it was in some, maybe it was like a documentary on him, I want to
Okay.
say, but like I
Oh,
saw
I don't
I
know that. I
I
should see that.
I think, or it was just a snippet on something. It was about him, and he was playing the guitar. I was like, wow, this is really great.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I love him in Repo Man. Like that's
I've never watched that one.
you gotta watch it. It's
Is it?
great. It's great.
Okay.
I highly
Let me write
recommend
let
that.
me write that down.
Yeah,
Repo Man.
Repo Man, great film. And for those who are listening, definitely check it out. It's great. It's got Emilio Estevez, the best of the Sheens, in
Uh-huh.
it. Yeah,
Wait,
and
is that the Jack Nietzsche film score? Did he do the music? Is that
I'm
him?
not quite sure, but it's got a great soundtrack.
Okay.
Um, it's got like Circle Jerks
Oh wow.
um and oh, who else? Um, Circle Jerks really. Is a great cover of Secret Agent Man by the Mexican punk band, and I've drawn a blank on their name, but and people are gonna really get on my ass about it, but nonetheless, yeah, no,
Okay.
it's a
Cool.
great
I
Iggy Pop made a song for it called
Oh
Repo
wow.
Man. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Oh, I
great.
gotta check it out. That sounds great.
Yeah, definitely. By Harry Dean Stanton. Yeah, great actor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you ever
Yeah.
watch Twin Peaks?
Yeah, 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 yeah. The music
Yeah.
is really, really great.
Oh
I
my
love it. It's
gosh.
so
Yeah.
quiet and just oh man. See, that's like, the music almost sounds like something you hear in the woods. Just music sounds like the scene. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
that's yeah. To me, that's like the great film score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Antonio, I believe his name is Antonio something, I believe is the guy who did that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw
Yeah.
some great footage of him talking about it.
It's great.
Yeah,
His
yeah, yeah.
his stuff is great. And also the guy who did the score for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and a
Oh,
Fistful of
and
Dollars.
Ennio Morricone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It- oh,
that shit's
amazing.
like also incredible. There are
Yeah.
so many. I was really into like spaghetti western movie, mostly spaghetti western film score was interested in me more than American western scores, because American western scores often like a big budget, huge orchestra, like orchestral, beautiful music. But I noticed, I feel like, I don't know if it's really true or not, a lot of Italian made Western movies are probably on a lower budget, so they used smaller band and combo to do score instead of a huge orchestra. So a lot of times it's like a rock band, maybe not a rock band, but a band, small band
Yeah.
doing the film score, like even like Morricone stuff, some of the. And so that was more exciting to me, because you have to be a lot more imaginative with the sound, because it's the small people. There was a great arranger who worked with Morricone named Bruno Nicolai. Bruno Nicolai's music made a big impression on me, because it's a small combo doing very cinematic um, incidental music. And that was a big influence on my Hawaii. We try to do like a almost a film score type of music in pop music, pop songs with a
Yeah.
spaghetti western arrangement with a pop song kind of.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, that's a great meshing
yeah,
of two
yeah,
genres. Yeah. I, I always like to see people going out and exploring within minimalism is just
yeah.
great to see
Right.
in
Yeah, yeah,
any
yeah,
facet. I mean, because you're really you're working with limitations, but it kind of really broadens your mind. It's like
yeah,
playing the drums without a you know a bass drum or something like that, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
or just working with a snare or whatever, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Limitation is a mother of invention. I think it's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
yeah.
really sparks some creativity because you're gonna work with what you have,
Yeah,
and
if you
it's
have,
gonna spawn from that.
yeah, if you don't have enough budget, you kind of have to work around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is great. Which is
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. So, talk to me about the idea of Edge of Your Dream. How did that come about? How did you think about that?
So I wrote the song on a cruise. I was I was working as a tech on this concert cruise thing. There's like kind of rich people go on a cruise to see bands kind of thing. It was really
Oh
not my
yeah,
cup of tea, but I was working on it. So like and then I had like a lot of time to kill, because it was a long cruise, and I had like 5 days to do nothing really. And then we didn't have internet, so like I just borrowed a guitar from a guy I was working for, and I just wrote a bunch of songs in a cabin on an ocean liner. And that was one of it, and then I really liked it. So I came back. This is right before a COVID hits, so like it's like a January of 2020. And now I thinking back, I was on a cruise ship in January 2020. Sounds like a terrible idea, but but I did. And then um yeah, so I wrote that on a off the coast of Cuba, somewhere in and yeah, so I wrote that,
if it's
and
good
then
enough for Hemingway, I mean, come on.
yeah, sure, yeah, good enough for me too. So yeah, and that's I wrote a bunch of songs, and that was one of the ones kind of stuck with me. And I came back, I I recorded the basic rhythm section with my friend Jens Cross. Jens is a great singer songwriter. His music is incredible. You should check it out.
What's it?
Um,
What's it called? Wait, let's plug it real quick. Is he have a
oh
band
yeah,
camp? Is it just under his
yeah.
name?
He's just his name, Jens, Jens Kuros, Kuross. Um, his music is incredible. We go way back. I've been friends with him, made a bunch of music together for past 15 years or so. And
So
then
you
he
haven't
and
known
I,
him very long. You haven't really. You're not really close to the guy.
no, he's like my best friend. He's like yeah, he's a very close friend of mine. And then just he and I recorded in my studio, quote unquote studio, which is outside because I don't have enough room.
Because
Um,
that's where you thrive. It's the outside, and it goes all the way back to West Virginia. I mean, you got
yeah,
field recordings.
yeah,
Key.
sure, yeah. Maybe you're right, actually. Yeah, I like being outside and record.
Yeah,
So yeah, we set up. He set up his drums and I set up my guitar, and we kind of like just kind of came up with the right tempo and different grooves, and then we recorded that. And then right away he overdubbed a bunch of keyboards, and then song was pretty much done at that point. But then I was like, I wanted something more like a dreamy, kind of like just a disorienting feel to the song. And and I thought about it like, oh, how am I gonna do that? And then I saw my friend Nels Klein around that time, and I was like, oh, he can do it. So I asked him, hey, would you be down to play? He was like, fuck yeah, man. So he just came over and played those crazy, like, disorienting dream. He basically added the dream to the song, and I was like, wow, this is great.
yeah. I mean, it
Yeah,
sounds absolutely incredible. I mean,
yeah,
it
thank you.
really does.
Yeah,
It's great,
yeah, thanks.
and it fit very well with Mark Neely's project.
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
and shout out to Mark Neely. He's a great guy.
He is, and then I I honestly can't remember how I met him. I think we communicated over email or something, and then I he had this beautiful animation movie project, and which is called Fragments, and it was just a basically movie of him visiting LA, short movie, and I scored it, and it was almost like I felt the connection. It was like, oh wow, this I understand what this guy's trying to do, and I feel like he felt like I feel like he understood what I was trying to do. So we're like, okay, we should do more of this shit.
Yeah,
And then we started doing more stuff together, and it's been great. Yeah, he's such a talented guy and great energy. So like it's it's really great. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
I
great guy.
need good energy in my life.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he's the guy to supply it
absolutely.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What sparks your creativity? Do you feel?
Um um oh, I don't know. Just I enjoy I enjoy that feeling very much, and I don't know what sparks it, but um one thing I heard someone said, and just kind of try to hang on to it, is someone said, I think this is a Japanese kabuki master said it or something like that. If you're an artist, uh he said, I'm paraphrasing him. He said like inspiration comes like once a day, 15 minutes. Okay. And then he said like artist's job is to be ready for that 15 minutes, and when that happens, to like really grab it, and you need to like practice to be able to grab that 15 minutes. And then I think there's truth to that.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah, isn't that great? Yeah,
yeah,
so he said like those 15 minutes kind of comes out of nowhere, and you have to be ready to catch it.
yeah.
And then I think I find that to be true.
Do you feel like it hits you every day though?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Man, I need to tap into that.
Just it's more like it kind of being in tune within yourself. I
Yeah.
mean, I think I don't know. I don't know, but being able to capture it every day, that's a whole nother story. But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
but just being able to see that it's there is
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
first
yeah,
step, and then expanding on that.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
But I
Wow.
try to keep that in mind because I believe that. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh wow. You coming in with a lot of good quotes
good,
today. I really
good,
like it. Yeah. A
good.
lot of
Yeah,
good takeaways from this one.
good. It's I didn't say that. I read someone said that.
I
All of
know,
that.
no, it was you. I know it was you. You wrote
No.
it. Like, I don't know who wrote it.
Wish I had to remember who said that, but I don't.
The
Japanese kabuki master. That's probably who that was.
there you go. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. 15 minutes a day.
15.
Yeah.
Yohei, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thank you very much.
I like to wrap this up with some promos so the people could find your music and at the edge of your dream at Yohei 1979.bandcamp.com. That's the best place, right? And
Yeah.
also your website, right?
Yeah. Yoheishikano.com. YOHEISHIKANRO.com.
Perfect. And you could buy the great the I mean, well, obviously it's fucking fantastic, and I mean I've been playing it over and over and over again now, but the 45 of
Yes.
Edge of Your Dream, which
Yes.
is
Do
on
you
a
do you have the
flexi
copy?
disc.
Should I send it to you?
Yeah, send it to me, and I'll send you the money because I don't like to take anything for free. So, but it's fantastic, and by our buddy Mark Neely did the
Yes.
cover art for it, and it looks great.
Absolutely. Yeah, it comes with a postcards and it just like with the video and the 45, it just like whole things together. Just I really love that, and it excites me. It's great because the whole thing is like a together piece: record, video, postcards, music. It's great.
It's all hand in hand, and it's great, and they can find the rest of your music also on Bandcamp as well, right?
Correct. Yeah.
With some My Hawaii on YouTube as well, and are you on Spotify?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's on Spotify. My Hawaii and my music, Yohei and My Hawaii.
Great, great,
Yeah.
perfect. All right, awesome. And again, be sure to check out the animated short film
Please.
Fragments.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
at the best place to find it is at my website, yoheishikano.com.
yeah, and I'll link that in the description as well as the link to the Vimeo for
Great, man. Thank you
Fragments
so
as well.
much.
Thank you so much, man. I'll talk to you in a second. I'm gonna stop
All
recording
right.
this thing.